can
Right.
get
I'm doing something, but I'm just trying to get better.
I'm sure we could talk for ages about these questions. It really brings up more questions when you look at business and you think product. How did you find that? Was it hard? Was it easy?
Hard. The elevator pitch is hard.
Yeah.
To get it into like a couple of sentences.
Yeah, and to be honest, I didn't expect you to be able to go, that's our elevator pitch. Like it took me a good while to write Infuse as well. But it's a really useful exercise. So let's move on. So just building on what we've been talking about, it's really important to build a picture of what your target market looks like. And the tool that we use to understand that is we create personas. We literally create a mock-up of your customer to really get under the skin of them. Now you can pull that information from current customers. You may, for example, we were talking about a nail beauty business over there. So from previous clients, you may be able to say, oh, they're female. They tend to be between 20 and 40. They tend to have these kind of jobs. You can really make a picture of the type of people that you are targeting. There are so many questions that you can put in personas, but here is just some basic ones. So name will leave to the end, but you can get an idea of their age, where are they male or female, what's their income level, do they have much disposable income, does that make a difference to your product, what's their education level, do they have a family, what's their occupation. These are very, very broad questions, but when you create your personas, you need to put points in that are relevant to your business. So we were talking about school. So you are essentially trying to attract parents to serve their children to go to school. So these kind of questions might be useful in creating a picture of them. You can go down another level and you can look at their interests, their hobbies, values, attitudes, behaviours, lifestyles. And once you start to understand that, then you know where they are. And then you can start working out, okay, so if they're this age, then and they're interested in this, then they might be following this kind of thing on Instagram. So perhaps if I use this hashtag to get in front of them, and you see how you all of a sudden start making a picture as to where these people are, and you can basically mould your whole marketing strategy around this. So personas are really, really important. Personas change as your business grows and as you learn more about your customers. And there is rarely one persona for the business. You'll have different types of customers. And there is no limit to how many personas you have. But for the clients that I work on, I'm trying to think. So one of my clients is a consumer lending business. So we will have type Tina, and she will be in her 30s, and she lives in Jersey, and she's female obviously. Her income is, 35k, and she's well educated, she got a degree. She's not married, and she works as an administrator in finance. She's interested in going on holiday, she loves going on holiday, and she often will use this company that I work for to take a loan out so that she can do those big adventure holidays. She enjoys yoga retreats, and she really values living for the day and experiencing the world that is out there. She's quite carefree, and she spends a lot of her time on Instagram and Facebook looking at different types of yoga retreats and stuff that she can go on. So I just pulled that from my head. But do you see what I mean? We now understand the type of person who would want a loan and what they would want it for. And if they're interested in yoga, then you might want to be appearing where yoga retreats are appearing. So if and one of the brilliant things about social media is that you can target someone who has shown an interest in yoga. So while she's looking for that yoga retreat she wants to go on, your advert can appear next to it saying, you can afford this with this. So that's an example. I would like us to try and think of at least one persona of the businesses, of the customers that you are looking to attract. Just one, could be your most obvious one. Really high level. See if you can go through, let's start with these ones, to create a picture of the type of people you're targeting. And this will be useful as we move through, as you try and keep your business in mind. Personas are one of those things that we could talk about for ages. One thing that I am hearing is that please don't take the questions that we had up there as rock solid. This is what persona looks like. The purpose of personas is to create a picture, and if those pieces of information, if someone's gender doesn't make any difference to you, don't put it in. The point is to create a picture of your client so that you can use that to craft your message, which we're going to explore. So I've got a nice example that I'm going to show you. So we all know Apple. Apple's a pretty cool brand. When iPad 2 came out, Apple refocused their efforts a little bit. Through personas, they sort of realised that there was a market that were buying their products that were business professionals who want to use their devices. And so they created this advert, which I'm going to show you. And what I want you to listen to is you can probably hear the information that they got from their persona. You can hear that they understand exactly how these business people work, and they've moulded it to create this, which is essentially our ultimate goal. Well, we were looking at this because Apple recognised that there was business professionals that were interested in their product, and so using one of their personas, they created this campaign. And I think you're really going to be able to hear the kind of information that they were pulling from their personas to appeal to their market. We'll have the discussion afterwards, so can't make it
This
bigger.
is what we believe. Technology alone is not enough. Faster, thinner, lighter, those are all good things. But when technology gets out of the way, everything becomes more delightful, then magical. That's when we leap forward. That's when you end up with something like this.
Yeah, short and sweet. But what could you pull? What information did they have in their persona?
Children, business and family life.
Business, family life,
Balance.
grandchildren, children.
Yeah, the guy talking was older, so maybe a bit
The
older.
guy was older. They showed that it was sleeker and a thinner product, all the things that maybe the people, the techie geeks really love, but they showed the functionality of what you can do.
Yeah, and I think it's always good to do two different adverts, which can target more home and children, so and another one more professional. So
Yeah.
How, it's so great once you get there, but how did they actually work out what was missing in their sector? How did they work out that's who they needed to target? Obviously they're looking at research, but they need to see what products they're selling to who. How did they go about it?
So they have reams and reams of data. They have massive CRM systems, and they can build humongous pictures of the type of people that they're getting through. So Apple have a very unfair advantage on everyone. But
Like,
it was just
how do our businesses like? How can we do that? How can we? Not from asking ourselves questions, but how can we have data that actually will tell us this is who you should target?
So using some digital channels, which we're going to look at, you will get some data. So, brand review. So now we understand who we're trying to target. It's important to make sure that your brand appeals to these people that you're targeting. So I've got some well-known brands here. We all know Lego. What do you think when you look at this logo? How does it?
Bright, fun.
bright and fun.
Kids.
Kids.
Quite
Quite
like balloons.
yeah, quite a playful
It makes you feel
I
good.
like this
That's
yellow.
good.
It's like the sun.
Yeah,
Shine.
great. Okay. What about this one?
Girls.
Girls.
Oh,
Very
it's
slick.
Very slick, isn't it?
Very slick. Very bold.
Yeah, strong.
Very strong.
Bit boring.
Let's put the font as a goal.
Okay.
Points, I think.
How about this one?
Traditional?
Do you say traditional?
Maybe. Yeah, fantasy.
It is fantasy, a little bit wacky.
Yeah.
Like a Christmas animal.
Christmas thing, okay. How about this one?
It's like pretty formal.
Yeah.
Very formal.
Straightforward. Yeah.
Straightforward.
Business.
Uninspiring, okay? You won't tell these amazing marketing. How about this one?
See, this one battles me.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it got to do with coffee?
American.
That's my point. You drink too much.
But it's good because everyone knows that.
It's American though, isn't it? It's
It just, but
It's like
is
Statue of
it Statue of
Liberty.
Liberty? Is it meant to be a recreation of her?
yeah, so I always think.
In logo like that, it
Yeah.
just means whatever you give.
I think it means whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. And what do you think of the colours and
The colour's nice.
it's quite fresh, I would
Yeah.
say.
It's super recognisable, so it's hard
Yeah.
to like have an opinion on a brand you already know.
Yeah.
But is that the target market? Is it just mostly women? Is that the reason why they've done that?
No? We're going to come on to that in a minute. This one?
Yeah.
It's like a globe, isn't it? Yeah.
And the last one.
It's
It's fun, it's playful, it's bright. So, all of these colours and all of these fonts have been very carefully chosen because colour does a lot for us overlooking. So here is just an example. These are some key colours and the kind of feelings that come with them.
Oh, this is cool.
So yeah,
I know that the wavelength is different for different colors as well. Like the red one is reaching faster. That's
Yes.
really nice.
So yeah, you were completely right with Lego, active, exciting, bold, energetic, cosmopolitan, feminine. So yeah, you were basically along the lines of what this says, which is great news that branding's working. Font is also really important. So here we have some different fonts. I will send this to you afterwards, don't worry. But we've got like quite a traditional font. We've got one that kind of gives a feel of stability. That's kind of more PayPal feel that we had. We've got a strong, like, modern look, friendly and rounded, and traditional and a bit squiggly. And it's really important to look at your font and your colours because here's a very extreme example. It has an effect. So now we've had a little look and you know a little bit about what's going on behind it. Let's have a look at this one. So what do you think? Colours? Very formal.
Stability.
Yeah, trustworthy.
Blood sucking.
I need someone would say that.
Building.
What about the colours? I mean, generally in the finance industry, you see a lot of blue. They try to be very stable, but purple is quite bold.
It's close to blue though, isn't it? It's not
It is,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not a purple. Is that the colours that you use? Is that the real brand? Doesn't work for me.
Okay. So this is what they're trying to do. They use the deep purple to give a feeling of being distinguished and respectable. Red logo depicts being bold and strong. Strong font depicts strength and stability. And their tagline is, "We are what we do. We are what we do." And I think
Lights down slightly, then people can see the screen a bit more.
it's quite aggressive. Yes, quite aggressive. red is also quite a rich colour as well.
HSBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got a lot of white there. Calming. Is that what you find?
Branding can really go wrong. So Gap, this is the Gap we know.
Yeah.
And this is what Gap rebranded to. It lasted weeks.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Because what they were trying to achieve was create emotional connections with customers around the world through inspiring product design, unique store experiences and competitive marketing. This is bold. Everyone recognises it. Even if you don't shop at Gap, you know what they do, you know what they are. This, oh no, it looks like a software company or something. It's just like, it doesn't make sense. So I think they realised the error of their ways very, very quickly, and they moved back to their original look and everything's hunky-dory now. But I just wanted you to see like the impact that your brand can have on your customers. Somebody that does it really well is Lush. So Lush try and go against the beauty industry. They don't like testing on animals. They market themselves as fresh homemade cosmetics, and you see it through everything. I mean, if you look at their packaging, who buys a face mask in a tub? No one. But it gives you that homemade feel.
Right.
Their font is bold, they're black and white. Go in their store and you know exactly where you are. Every interaction with Lush, you know you're talking to Lush. So what I want you to take away from this is that it's so important that your brand represents your product. The look and feel of your brand is crucial for a consistent customer journey. Every interaction with your customer needs to be consistent. So if you're looking at, say your product's quite expensive, and so you want to create quite a luxury brand on your website, don't ruin it with a cartoon. That's not going to work for them. They want the consistent experience, and it's amazing how brand inconsistency can put a customer off working with you. So we're going to move on to some more content stuff in a minute, but I think it's probably a good time to have a break if anyone wants to get coffee or use the toilets. Please feel free, and we'll come back in. So we've defined our product and who it appeals to, where we now have a brand that reflects this. Now we need to think about where our customers are and how we can get in front of them. So, inbound marketing, kind of a big deal. So, stay with me on this. Inbound marketing is a huge piece, and I'm going to try and take us through inbound marketing. But what you're going to see is when we start talking about social media and the channels, it should all come together. So inbound marketing is a strategy that utilises many forms of pull marketing, content marketing, blogs, events, search engine optimization, social media and more to create brand awareness and attract new business. In contrast to outbound marketing, where marketers attempt to find customers, inbound marketing earns the attention of customers and makes the company easy to be found. So if we think about the social media and the market that we live in today, people have Google at their fingertips. If they want to learn something, they just search it and it's there. Gone are the days where, you know, a big newspaper advert would get you loads of attention, because there's just so many channels out there that the customer is the champion. They are in control. Yeah, so this is a fun fact. According to IBM, we now create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data each day. So much that 90% of the data in the world today has been created in the last 2 years. That's crazy. But it just shows how far the digital landscape has progressed. And as we said, buyers today are now more empowered, and they have access to everything 24/7. This is a nice, so before we were marketing to them, and now they look at all the different channels to learn what they want to learn. So So this is a nice quote that kind of gives you a feeling for inbound marketing. So inbound marketing can't be segmented into separate categories, with each section holding independent power. While we rely on search engine optimization to get up those Google searches, to draw visitors from organic search, the search engine optimization doesn't work if there's no content. So if there's nothing on your website, it's not going to work. Without social media, blogs don't reach everyone and all interested people. And SEO content and social media are all completely useless without the lead generation process in place. So inbound marketing is, I can't say enough, it's huge and it has so many different facets that can't be pulled apart. They all complement each other. So types of inbound, blogging. So by far the most common form of inbound marketing is blogging. And it plays a powerful role in driving traffic and nurturing leads. So some people think of blogging like someone almost writing an essay that you can read. But blogs can be anything. It can be 5 things you didn't know about yoga, or 5 ways to make your business more successful. It's just a really, really nice way of creating information that people are interested in. A platform that's really good for blogging is Medium. I don't know if you've come across it, but Medium is a great place to write your blogs, which you can link through to your website. But also Medium is a community in itself, so people go on there to search for different items, and they may come across you because they were reading something else. So it's a nice network that people can nurture with blogging. If you keep using blogging is really good for your SEO because it keeps your website up to date because your content's constantly changing. So even some people say, oh, but I don't really have anything to talk about. My website, just this. There's only so much I can say. Well, coming back to the consumer loan example that I was talking about before. There's only so much you can say about a loan. A loan is a loan. You borrow money and you pay interest on it. But what we can do is talk about, for example, people may take out a loan because they want to buy an engagement ring. So let's put together an article about finding the best engagement ring, like what makes a good engagement ring, where do you look, what kind of stones are there, all the different elements of buying an engagement ring. Yes, it's not specifically attributed to getting the loan out, but it is that helpful information that people need to purchase what they want to do. Another example is that we at Infuse we've built a tool called Pinpoint, which is a recruitment tool. Now there's only so many times I can tell you the functionality of Pinpoint, but people who use our product are recruiting. So they want interview questions, they want job descriptions, they want to know where to advertise to get the best candidates. And so in creating content that's useful to your customer, you're building a relationship with them, and in return they are, not all, but a lot of them will be interested in your product. So what I'm trying to say is, don't think of blogging as black and white. There are so many things that you can talk about, and building that relationship with your customers so that they trust you and they're like, yeah, these people really know what they're talking about. It's really it's a really great marketing tool. Also, whilst we're talking about writing content, consider marketing in places that are a little bit unusual. So, for example, have you heard of Quora or Reddit? So Quora and Reddit are places where people post questions and they want an answer. Now you can follow different topics, and what I would encourage, if it's suitable for your business, is to write those answers. Like, be that thought leader. So for example, I'm on the lookout for recruitment questions. How do I hire the best person? And I'll write that blog. I'll write the answer to them. Well, you should think about this. Have you considered this? Blah blah blah. Oh my gosh, this person really knows what she's talking about. Let me just. And so the the journey continues. It's a different way in to meeting people. You're giving them something, and they are grateful for the information that you give them. So yeah, think about your kind of unusual places that you can create content. So social media is obviously huge, with 67% of online adults using social media to share information. You can't afford to neglect social media because it is a massive online community. Your blog content can play a big part of your content strategy, but it's important to understand who uses each of the platforms and what kind of content suits them. Because if you're going to write a really long, I don't know, blog about the use of statistics in, I don't know, something business-like, Instagram's probably your wrong channel. So let's have a little look at social media. So it's a cost-effective way to promote your brand. Different social media channels serve different purposes, as we said. And so here's the keyword. So here is Twitter. So we all sort of understand how Twitter started out. It was just text only, 140 characters. It's expanded now. Content generally is visible for about 18 minutes or less. So it's a very, very short burst in front of people. And to use Twitter, you need to have a lot of content. You need to be tweeting a couple of times a day to have to get in front of people. Yeah, there are over 6,000 tweets per second on Twitter. So it can be hard to stand out. That doesn't mean that it's not worth doing. You can make snappy, unusual posts that kind of grab attention. Use it for expanding your audience with links to compelling content. So you could link to your blog or your website or some promotion that's going on, or a job opportunity. So Twitter is a good low stakes way of getting initial contact with potential clients or influencers. I'm not a huge fan of Twitter purely because the impact time is so small. You know, a couple of minutes, you're really guessing who's going to be on there. But there are a lot of people that are on there, so it's definitely worth considering as a channel. So Facebook. Facebook is a site for posting memes featuring minions and diverse political opinions. That's what mine looks like. No, Facebook is become part of the fabric of our lives. People use it for everything from posting your holiday pictures to wedding announcements to everything. People spend a lot of time on Facebook. And they have 1.71 billion active monthly users, which is just a huge amount of people. The type of content you can post on there is endless, from pictures, videos, links to blogs, just a general post of information. There's so many different types of content that you can get out on Facebook that it's great. And one of the brilliant things about Facebook is you could do a post, and you might want to boost it, you want to get in front of more people, you just put a little amount, £10, and you can get in front of more people. But you can also do paid advertising, so you see adverts pop up every now and then. So you can set up those adverts, again, pretty cost effective. You can monitor how much you're spending, and the analytics behind that are brilliant, because if people interact with you, you get that information. So you'll see likes, you'll see click-throughs, you'll see one feature I absolutely love is that you can see if people took an action after seeing your ad or your post. So they might not have liked anything, but they might have gone, I can have my nails done. I'm going to look up that website, and they go off and they look it up. You can see if people are taking action, which is really, really, really useful.
Is that only on the adverts, not the boosting?
boosting, you do get analytics, but not to the same
Not the
level.
same, yeah, I thought.
Yeah. So Instagram is intensely visual. It does have a younger audience than Facebook. If you meet, I don't know, 16 to 25-year-olds, they might say, "Oh, I don't use Facebook. I'm on Instagram now." It's a brilliant way of promoting content. The demographics of Instagram claims that there's 400 million monthly users. Over half of their user base is aged 18 to 29, while 25% are 30 to 49. So it is a younger base. With Facebook to try to use hashtags, and it hasn't really taken off. Like, people don't really search hashtags on Facebook, but on Instagram it's huge. And so having the hashtag functionality means that you can get in front of people who are searching for things that are relevant to you, and it's really, you can gather some really interesting data by testing your hashtags and seeing which ones are most effective. Also, Instagram stories are huge at the moment, and people are doing some really funky things. Like you have the boomerang, speeded up content. Like, people will flick through their stories, and it's a great way of just getting those information. People are now picking up on things to say. They'll post a point and then they'll say, "Want to learn more? Slide up and you've got a link." It's brilliant, and there's a lot of people utilising that.
How long is a story? Like minutes, seconds?
Seconds.
Really? Just like
You
10
can
seconds?
you could do a series of posts, and it will make your story longer, but you only have a few seconds for each segment. But you'd be surprised what you can do in that. It's very effective. Telling short visual stories is great on Instagram. Let your authenticity shine and show your audience the people behind the brand. So again, a lot of companies, if, for example, recruitment is really important because the recruiters that you deal with want to be nice and you want to work with them. So Instagram can be a good way to sort of see in the office and like, "We're really nice people" type messages through Instagram. Snapchat. So Snapchat's grown. It did start as on a very simple premise of post a picture and then it disappears forever, and it has grown and adapted, and more companies are starting to pick up on the Snapchat channel. It has over 100 million daily users, but it can be a hard one to harness. You only get a few seconds to make an impression on Snapchat, so humorous content with a quick setup and punchline can get a good response. Again, it's good for the behind the scenes looks at your company, but Snapchat is a very fun, very young channel, so it's not necessarily appropriate for all the types of businesses that we have in this room. LinkedIn has a very strong business focus. It's the world's largest professional social media network.
It's different.
But it does mean that you're not going to see people. You may do, but you don't see very many holiday pictures and cat videos on LinkedIn. It is very professional. People kind of show what they know about their industry. It's a great platform for business to business companies because you've got professionals on there who are probably either on there because they're trying to recruit someone or they want to see what's going on within the industry. It's a great way of keeping up to date with industry changes. What type of content? So LinkedIn can do the same kind of content that Facebook can do. You can have your pictures, you can have your videos, you can have your blog links. The difference is that the audience is very, very professional. The advertising on LinkedIn is very, very tricky to use sometimes. There are a lot of restrictions that you won't see with things like Facebook and Instagram. But it is great if you're trying to create lead generation. So for example, I ran a campaign last year, I think it was. We were launching a product. We did a teaser campaign, which was literally just a picture of the brand, gave it a feel for the brand, had a tagline saying an idea of what the product did, and we said sign up to be the first to hear about this. And people signed up, they put their information in, and all of a sudden we had a fairly substantial database of people who were interested in us, and we could make contact with them. So it was a great head start with launching a product, which LinkedIn was brilliant for. So using social media can be used for straightforward marketing using paid advertising, the paid advertising functionality. Ads can be extremely targeted and can be successful with fairly small budgets. So if you've got your personas and you know what they're interested in, you can go on Facebook and you can target all those people who are interested in a new property or whatever the interest is, or has openly said that they're looking for a new job. The targeting is brilliant, and you can not doing very well. The budget is very easy to monitor, so you can set a small budget and you can see how much you've spent. You can pause it at any time. You're in control of your spending, which is really, really useful and completely not what you get with traditional channels of print or anything like that. So social media is great. So we've had an idea of social media channels, where they are, but we need to think about managing our content. For a lot of people, your content will be able to appear in all the different places just with a slight tweak. So you could talk about the same thing, but on LinkedIn you might choose a different tone of voice to be a little bit more professional. On Instagram you might shorten what you're going to say and use more hashtags. On Facebook you might be a bit playful. But you could be saying the same thing, and you can use the same content on your different channels, so you're really multi-pronged approach. I use, these work, to plan my content because we have so many channels. I use this. So this is, so the example I've used is, do we all know the Super League Triathlon? Yeah. So this is a social media strategy example for the Super League Triathlon. So when you're planning your content, the place I start with is with calendar, because for each of your industries there may be key dates. There may be awareness days that are suitable, there may be sales or promotions you've already got on your calendar. There will be things coming up within your business that you know are going to happen. So I tend to start with a calendar to put those dates in, so I can see when things are already planned and what kind of things I need to promote. And often if you're doing like a year plan, there'll be a lot of blank spaces, but at least you can see those key dates where you're promoting something. You can create content around those dates, so you might be doing blog posts or whatever, and then you can put them all in here. What I tend to do is I'll come up with a series of ideas based on maybe the personas, maybe the time of year, like Valentine's Day. I always do something for different clients around Valentine's Day, and all of a sudden you start seeing little campaign windows in your calendar. What I then do, I'm going to send you this if you want to use it, by the way. Then what I'll do is I'll put together a content repository. So this is the content, and this is what we're going to talk about, and here's the link, and this is where I want to take them to the website. If we're going to be promoting I don't know, if there's going to be a sale, I want them to go to this landing page. We put all our content here, and then we have a tab for each of the different channels. Now, for Twitter, it's really important that you know what time of day, because you've only got 16 minutes, so you need to get that tweet out whenever is most effective for you, and that's a lot of trial and error. That's just seeing what happens from your tweets and learning from that. So yeah, you put your time, you put your message. Now I love this spreadsheet because it tells me when I've gone over my characters. I put my links and my hashtags in, and then that's ready to go. Now, obviously, you can't plan all your content. Things happen, new ideas happen, business strategies change, and you'll probably leave gaps for those times. But you can start to paint a picture of your content using this. So Facebook, again, same message, so it's the same day. So this one's looking at, it's so easy to overlook the importance of stretching for recovery, to stretch every day for at least 30 minutes to help my muscles recover. So that would be a post from an athlete with some information. I don't think we decided whether it was going to be an image or it was going to be a video or if it was going to be an article. So we've got some examples of the content that we would use. LinkedIn we wouldn't use for Super League. It's just not appropriate. Instagram, smaller messages, more hashtags, and more use of images. And Snapchat, I don't think we suggest Snapchat. So that's sort of how I keep track of social media content. Using the calendar approach makes you see where events are happening, and you can kind of mould where you've got gaps, where you need to think about things. But it's a useful starting point for creating your social media strategies. Are there any questions on that?
Can you have automated tools that you kind of like feed it with stuff to send out?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
So we were saying before, I like a product called Moz, which you can manage all your social media channels. All the social media channels themselves have management windows. So Facebook is Business Manager, where you can set automation specifically with the channel if you want. But if you want to have that kind of overview, you can do it through a software. The thing I would be careful of is make sure. So at first I tend to like to do things manually because I like to see how they work, whether time works. But once you've built that picture up and you know that between, I don't know, 9 and 10 is a great time to post a certain post, you can move to that automated approach. It might also be because I just like to have control and make sure everything works. Okay, so we've looked at social media channels. We haven't looked at how you use them because, to be honest, that is some people's full-time job. But what I have put at the end and what I will send you are links to guides as to how to use them. So each of the social media channels have all brought out brilliant walkthroughs. Facebook's is called Blueprint. They're 15-minute segments where you can literally search for what you need to know and you can go through it. I think that is a better approach to learning the different social media channels rather than us going step by step through, but I'm more than happy to take questions later if there's any specific questions about using social media. So we know our product, we know who we're targeting, we've had a look at inbound, we now need to start crafting our message and messages that are actually going to resonate with people. And so this is where I get really geeky. So, using neuromarketing to appeal to your customers. So, I haven't come across many people who take this approach. Take it as a tool of a way of thinking about this. Don't treat this as this is how you do it. It's a way of guiding you to make sure that your content is specific to who you're targeting rather than what you think they should receive. So neuromarketing is based on the idea that you have 3 types of brains. You have the new brain, which is rational. You have the middle brain, so you've got your amygdala where your emotions are, and you've got your reptilian brain, which is your kind of caveman brain. And research suggests that our brains evolved this way. So we started with a brain that kind of helps you breathe, helps you eat, helps you sleep, and grew this way, which is where all your emotions and your rationale comes from. So neuromarketing believes that if you can speak to the reptilian brain, the original brain, the black and white brain, then you can help, then you can influence ethically how people think about your product. Because what we think happens is that your reptilian brain will be really, really important in the decision making, but your emotional brain will put the reasoning behind your decision. So the reptilian brain reacts to 6 stimuli. It's very self-centered. General considerations of others do not reach it. It's all about survival. Do not assume that this has any patience or empathy or anything that does not immediately concern its survival. That's the other part of the brain's job. Contrast loves contrast. It's things are black and white. Reptilian brain to make quick and safe decisions. That's the role of it, is to keep you alive. So without contrast, the reptilian brain enters a state of confusion, which ultimately results in a delay in decision making. It likes things that are tangible. So numbers work for the new brain, but the reptilian brain won't decide based on numbers alone. The reptilian brain is constantly scanning for what is familiar and friendly, what can be recognised, what can be recognised quickly, and what is tangible. The reptilian brain cannot process concepts like flexible solutions or integrated approach or scalable architecture without effort and doubt. So it's very, I keep saying it's very black and white. It just wants to understand what's the facts, and the fluffy language, which sometimes works, doesn't necessarily appeal to this part of the brain. The reptilian brain forgets most of everything in the middle, which has huge implications on how constructs are delivered and how you deliver powerful messages. It's called the primacy and recency effect. So we remember what we heard first and what we heard last, and what happens in the middle can sometimes be a little bit lost. And that's really, really powerful when you're thinking about your messaging. You need your hook at the beginning, and you need the reason why you need to remember this product at the end. It's very visual. Neuroscience demonstrates that when you see something that looks like a snake, your reptilian brain warns you instantly of danger, so that you react even before the new brain physically recognises it's a snake. This implies that visual processing enters the reptilian brain first, which can lead to a very fast and effective connection to true decision making. So again, it's survival. Our brain is made in a way to make sure that we survive. So if we see danger, this part of the brain will react before your emotional side of the brain has even had time to think about what it's going to do. And because this brain works so much quicker, it makes a lot of sense to speak to it in a language that it understands. Emotion. The reptilian brain is strongly triggered by emotion. Neuroscience has clearly demonstrated that emotional cocktails create chemical reactions that directly impact the way that we memorize and act. So, how can we use these insights to craft our messages? So I really, really like this model. Whenever I'm creating messaging, I try and bring it back to this, because it just simplifies your message and makes sure that you haven't gone like wildly ahead with what you think people should hear. So step 1, diagnose the pain. Under stress of making a purchasing decision, the reptilian brain plays a central role in controlling the final decision. That's why you need to quickly identify the pain of your audience if you want to get immediate attention. Everyone's product or service is relieving your customer of some kind of pain, whether they need a new table or they need a new job, you're going to solve something, otherwise why would you do it? So diagnosing that pain is really, really key. Differential claim. So find your unique claims, that's kind of what we looked at the beginning, and weave them into your marketing. Your customer wants to know why they should choose you. And then demonstrate the gain. No evidence, no confidence. If your benefits are greater than your cost, your customers are foolish not to buy. But it doesn't always work that way. Because the reptilian brain is sceptical, it needs concrete evidence before it can commit to a decision. This means that rather than talking about the value, you need to prove it. Selling to the reptilian brain is a game of gaining. So this is great for your content. You may want to put together case studies. You might want client testimonials. Anything that proves that what you say about your product is the case will speak to your reptilian brain. And then step 4 is deliver it to the reptilian brain. Being unique by differentiating your claims and proving your value by demonstrating the gains are vital steps in affecting your audience, but alone they're not enough. The most solid and logical message, though it may be of interest to your prospect, will not trigger a buying decision unless the reptilian brain quickly and effortlessly understands. Delivering your message with maximum impact to influence the real decision maker, the reptilian brain, truly gives you the edge. So, how do you build your message with the utmost impact to the reptilian brain? Well, like we said, the primacy and the recency. We remember what we hear at the beginning and what we hear at the end, so you need a grabber. For survival reasons, it's the best interest for the reptilian brain to be most alert at the beginning and end of the interaction when change or unknown factors could cause danger. So you need to grab your customer's attention early in your delivery. So when you're thinking about your content, you'll see that kind of approach when you read articles or even blogs actually. Often you'll have a title, so you know what the article is about, and then your first paragraph will pretty much summarise what the rest of the article is going to talk about. And if you're interested, you'll go through and read the rest of the article, and at the end it will summarise basically what it's told you. That kind of technique in creating your content is really, really effective. Claims, engaging stimulus, contrast, bigger, better, best. In the delivery of any sales message, you want your customers to leave with a solid understanding of your claims and to easily understand how you are different with your claims to your competitors. So it really comes back to what we said about your products at the beginning. Understanding, being able to say exactly what your product does and how it's going to benefit them is basically the message that you need to do in the claims section. And then the bigger picture. An enormous body of scientific research suggests that the reptilian brain registers images long before the new brain can recognise or analyse them. A picture is indeed worth 1,000 words, and when it comes to delivering messages with impact, the big picture is a visual representation of your offering that needs little or no words to convey the value you bring to the customer. Another format that you can use is contrasted big picture, in which the first picture shows the pain of your customer and without the benefits of your solution, and the second illustrating the relief of the pain through the use of your solution. This format further engages the reptilian brain through the use of contrast and stimulus. So when I was working for Coleco and we were selling cloud computing, it's quite a hard product to get your head around. You can kind of understand the benefits, but how it actually works is quite hard to get your head around. And when I came in, some of the messaging was more about the functionality of what cloud computing is. But we decided to run a campaign which was called Problem Solved. And Problem Solved posed questions that businesses were facing. So for example, is your, I'm trying to think what other questions we said. Is your data securely and easily accessible from wherever you are? And most people go, no. Okay, cloud computing can solve that. Does your IT infrastructure, does it comply with GDPR? Don't think so. Don't worry, we can sort that out for you. And so it's a different approach. It's really looking at the problem that you're facing and saying, don't worry, we've got the solution. Rather than the functionality of everything, which they don't necessarily understand or care about. They just want you to solve their problems. Proof of gain. Engaging stimulus, tangible. The core of your message should be your proofs of gain. Don't expect your customer to believe in a solution that does not have tangible evidence to back it up. This also taps into the self-centered focus of the reptilian brain, i.e. what's in it for me. And the last one is handling objections, so emotion. Objections are often not rooted in logic. They are a visible part of your customer perceives you, your product and your company. Some objections are due to misunderstandings. Other objections, however, are valid, and very often the objection is triggered by a fear of making the wrong decision. So think about, again, it's going back to those personas. What decision-making processes do your customers need to go through to say yes to you? Like, is it, okay, I really like the product, but the postage charge is ridiculous and the delivery is like 5 weeks away. This doesn't suit me. Think about the headaches that people may have or may think that they might have if they engage in your product, and then be ready to deal with them. So 7 message boosters. Using the word you makes your customer take ownership of your solution. The reptilian brain is self-centered, so the best way that you can help your prospects understand what's in it for them is to say the word you. By wording the you, your customer's reptilian brain will unconsciously experience owning and using your solution. Your message instantly become more personal, and customers will feel you are genuinely interested in helping solve their pain. This is actually a really simple and really great technique. I've actually noticed a few estate agents do it. But when you're looking around a house, they say, well, this is your bathroom, this is your view, and you're like, yeah, this is. It really makes you feel the product or feel the service, and you kind of buy into that, yeah, this could be me. And it works with a number of products. Be credible. Your passion, energy and conviction can be sensed by the reptilian brain of your audience. And this is important if in your sales process they have a face-to-face encounter, making sure that your sales team are fully on board with your brand, hence why you need your elevator pitch to make sure that everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet. And it goes back to that brand experience from absolutely everything needs to be on brand and an enjoyable customer experience. Show contrast. When you create a sharp difference between the pain your customer experiences before your solution and the relief of the pain of your solution, you create more impact on the reptilian brain, because the contrast is the fuel for the decision. In the absence of contrast, especially when customers have difficulty distinguishing between your solutions and others, the decision-making process stalls. So if people can't see why they should go with you over Joe Blogs over there, the decision can be a bit scary. But if they can genuinely see, like, this is the right solution for me because it's not going to be painful and everything's going to be delivered on time and I can track this or whatever it is, it makes that decision process a lot simpler. And then trigger emotion. Customers often forget how painful their problems really are, reenact their pain and make it personal. Strong emotions create a cocktail of hormones in the brain, and that acts as a memory maker and as a decision trigger. So if you can really make them feel that pain that they were dealing with, you're not going to deal with that, or we're going to solve that, or now that you have this lovely product, this won't happen. Is really, really powerful, and again, will help with your decision process. And then vary your learning styles. So this is where social media is brilliant, because you can be visual, you can be audible, it can be written. The main learning styles are auditory, visual, and kinesthetic, which is physically. Where possible, utilise different learning experiences about your product. This gives each potential customer the opportunity to learn in a way that suits them. So vary your content, let them read about it, let them listen to you talk about it, and then if possible, have a demo, or let them experience the product. Everybody works in different ways, and so if you can make sure your content deals with each of these, or gives them the option of using each of these, then you're on to the winner. And tell stories. Because the reptilian brain cannot differentiate between reality and stories well told, stories are soft but highly effective influences. Good stories make a concept visual and tangible. A good story can make your presentation personal and generate powerful emotions in your audience. So it's great to use case studies or testimonials, or something that really sees someone who's gone through that journey already and they loved it. So why wouldn't you? Aim for less. Make every second, every object, every word of your message count. You must remove everything from your message that has no direct value of your customer. Moreover, customers will appreciate that your message can be delivered in half the time, but with more impact. Like this is something that I come up against with clients all the time, because they go, this is so important, this is so impressive, I really want to tell them. They don't care. They don't care. They just want to know how your products can help them. So try and cut that down and really focus on the person that you're talking to. So, we kind of whizzed through that last bit. Okay.
Can I shoot in a question then?
Yes.
That last point, that is then equally important across every form of communication, in as much as you need to include that philosophy in emails. There is a battle between doing your polite thing that you've always done, which used to be considered good customer service, and the more up-to-date version, which is really you've just got to crux it all down because you haven't got the time to read it in the first place.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And that is no longer, that's not considered rude, or so you can cut out all the we appreciate your inquiry, all of that stuff. You just need to answer it and make it short, sharp.
There has to be a balance. Like, don't be rude. It's not. It doesn't take many words to say thank you for your inquiry, but you can use different languages. So rather than saying thank you, you might say, we're so pleased you're interested in this product. And I wouldn't cut. If there's things that are working for you now, then keep doing them. This is just like a whistle-stop tour of digital marketing and some of the elements that can help you influence. I've put some summary points there. Hopefully, defining your product and who it is built for is crucial to the success of any business. Ensuring that your brand appeals to your target audience is one of the first hurdles you need to overcome to promote your business. In a digital world, the power rests firmly in the consumer, but these digital channels provide cost-effective shop windows to the right audience. By pulling customers to using inbound channels, and new marketing techniques, you can effectively market, acquire customers without breaking the bank. So hopefully, in what we've covered, you're either going, God, I'm good, I do all of that, or you're thinking, oh, I've learned some things that I need to work on. We've got through that last bit a lot quicker than I was expecting, but I'm happy to do some discussions, answer some questions, go back and work on the bits that we were working on before. It's really important to me that you go away with some useful information for you to move forward. I'm also going to send you this slide deck and that spreadsheet if it's useful to you, along with all the links to the brilliant resources that you can use.
Thank you so much.